Hi everyone, Julia here at the Davis Method and with another weekly video. This week we are going to talk about trigger points. This is something that one of my clients asked me about this past week and I thought it would be a great subject matter to talk to because I frequently do get questions about it. So trigger points, I'm just going to clarify, we are not talking about acupressure points. That is something totally different and goes by an entirely different healing arts, so that is very different. Trigger points are strictly muscular, that's what we're talking about. So how do you find them and what are they? So they feel like typically tender spots. I go to my shoulders because that's where mine mainly are. They often feel like it's a tiny pea or a ball beneath the surface, typically in the belly of the muscle where you can find it. But you will notice if you do a little bit of research, say search trigger point map, it'll be a map of the human body that has a bunch of different points that are all common on people because of how our muscles are. There are patterns that can be found between people. So oftentimes you might have the same trigger point as someone else, which as a massage therapist really informs me because having experienced a lot of things, I oftentimes know exactly what it feels like. So I'm able to really understand what a client needs, or at least what's going on. So what actually is happening at this trigger point? It is a muscle contraction. The muscles are supposed to be, say, this long. They end up shortening and tightening that contraction, and it's oftentimes sustained, which decreases circulation to the area, which is not good. Of course, we want our blood to be flowing easily throughout our bodies. That tightness often causes weakness in the muscle, so you might notice some either limited range of motion or some inability, some lacking of strength there because of a weakness in the muscle. And it can often cause pain in adjacent areas. Frequently, a real telltale sign of a trigger point is the referred pain. So oftentimes I'll work someone's point on their shoulder and they will say that they can feel it behind their eye. That's a really common indication that there's a trigger point there that's compressing the nerve. And so if you're able to alleviate that, oftentimes you can alleviate a lot of pain in other areas. So what the work that I do helps to break that feedback loop, whatever it is in your body that is causing this muscle to contract, to not relax. By getting in there and using some pressure, you're able to break that feedback loop so it starts to relax, physically stretch those fibers, and increase circulation in that area. So two things that I would suggest if you can do a little home care for yourself, finding some points that are hurting you. I have a book that I love. It is my trigger point Bible. It's called the Trigger Point Therapy Workbook by Claire Davies. She's a massage therapist and has a lot of personal experience with how this has impacted her. And so this book, I love it because it gives you a lot of self-care tips. So this is stuff that you can do on yourself, for yourself, which you're your most informed therapist, so being able to work on yourself is really important at times, and it helps you to go to your massage therapist and know a bit more about what's going on. The other component which can definitely help is this Theracane. So oftentimes they're a little bit more curvy, might have less knobs, but this allows you to, say I can work back on my shoulder, by putting pressure this way, I'm able to work on that spot there, and oftentimes you can relax whatever muscle is being worked on by using the opposite arm. So if you want to know more about this, feel free to let me know. That's just one brand, there's a million out there. If you do have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them or message us. I am always happy to talk about specific issues, whether it's your neck, back, shoulders, hips, whatever's going on. Trigger points can exist everywhere. It is not specific to just along the spine, although there are many along the spine, arms, legs, feet, all of that. So if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I hope this helps you start living the life you intend and helps relieve some of those muscle aches. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you next week.